a bit hot in there.
It's such a lovely evening. Why don't we eat out here?
Why not, indeed? What a splendid idea. It's such beautiful weather. What shall I bring through?
You sit down, Tom. I'll do it.
No, I insist. Look, I'm perfectly capable of... Well, let me bring the pie.
You'll need a cloth for dishes.
Right.
Look, you take your plate and the brandy, and I'll bring the rest.
Very well.
Here's yours, Bill. It'll get cold. I've got the devil's own jogging him to eat sometimes, Tom. When he's got his head in the clouds, he'll go for days without so much as a crust of bread. Would you like a little more?
No, thanks. I've got plenty. Thanks all the same.
When we were first married, we agreed to share everything as equal partners. The one should never be slave to the other. But as the years have gone by, I've become increasingly absorbed in my imagined world, leaving Catherine to do more than a share of the drudgery.
William!
On the question of matrimonial rights, we seem to have backslid somewhat. I'll bring the wine.
Bring some water, too.
I was married very young. Too young, I'm afraid. We weren't together for very long. She died. I was very bitter for a while. It seemed so unfair. No one's feelings at that age are particularly intense, are they not? I walked out with my second wife. Couldn't settle down. Still can't. I suppose what I need really is a companion more than a wife living as I do.
You'll never be in one place for long enough, I expect.
Long enough for what?
A lasting relationship. If you to choose between your happiness and the happiness of a whole society of people, I suppose you'd choose the people, wouldn't you?
Yeah, assuming I couldn't do both, yes, I would. Unless, of course, and with due respect, yours is a false question. And my happiness, as you call it, is only to be found in an all-embracing, almost exclusive relationship with the people. Generally.
What?
I don't know. I don't know. We're talking about something so important, so personal. How can I be precise? Nothing's that clear-cut anyway, is it? Contradictions at our very heart.
Once meek and in a perilous path, the just man kept his course along the vale of death. Roses are planted where thorns grow, and on the barren heath sing the honey bees.
I once had a dream. It was when I first landed in America, as a matter of fact. I was standing in a vast desert landscape. The air was still and heavy, loaded, as it were, with pestilence and death.
Would you like some apple pie?
Just a touch. You know, I'm really rather full. And as I watched, I saw the world was on fire. I ran and hid in a cave. And in my dream, I dreamed that I slept. And when I woke, I saw that the air was purged, and the sickly land had recovered to new life. The fire I dreaded as an evil had become a blessing.
I once dreamed I was on the forefinger of God as he rewrote history. But yours is better. A true vision. Tell me something. Why do you not stay in America? Why do you come back to England?
Well, in a sentence, I think I'd outstayed my... No custard, thank you. I think I'd outstayed my welcome. Before the revolution, I was indispensable, and during. But afterwards, I don't think they were entirely sorry to see me go.
The revolutionary spark burns in you too brightly, I fear. It blinds the fainter-hearted.
Well, if I contain in me a spark, I met those in France who contain within themselves whole furnaces of revolution. Their rhetoric, that was delicious, thank you. Their rhetoric is like the breath of dragons, burning up whole fields of more timid opinion.
Is Robespierre such a man?
No, sir. He is ice.
Oh, ice and fire do not mix.
Exactly. They cancel each other out. Or more precisely, the one acts as a restraint upon the other, which is how a balance is maintained in their assembly.
But if, as you say, one faction exactly cancels out the other, then there can be no progress, only inertia. And conversely, if one faction predominates at the expense of the other and seeks to extinguish the other, what then?
Then, sir, you have a return to tyranny.
And the wheel is turned full circle.
What's that noise?
I didn't hear anything, did you?
No. Well, you're taking that very calmly, if I may say so. Those men would lynch you if they could.
It would seem that people have a pretty low opinion of me, it's true. But as I know, this contumely is very much a construction of the government, something they've gone to a great deal of time and trouble to manufacture. I'm not unduly concerned. No, it's my belief that if people were left to decide for themselves, they'd be a lot less eager to destroy the very man who's doing his damnedest to liberate them. It's a very ironic situation, wouldn't you agree?
Perhaps if they could read, they'd understand you better.
Perhaps.
I can't read, you see. I know how easy it is to get things all mixed up. I mean, sometimes I'll pick up a letter or something, or an article in the paper, and I'll try and read it, and then I'll tell Bill all about it, and it's perfectly clear I got the wrong end of the stick entirely. Still, it won't be long. Bill's been teaching me. I can make out simple words, but I'm not very confident yet. Girls are fit for one thing, my father used to say, and it comes natural, so there's no need for any book learning. Then he'd laugh like it said something really funny.
I'm going to change all that, Mrs. Blake.
Yeah, and the sooner the better, I say.
We're going to turn the world upside down.
And having done that, will you be content to live in an upside-down world, Mr. Paine, or will you set it back to rights?
Don't understand you, not quite.
I'm asking, I suppose, what's going to happen once the old order's been torn down? Because unless people can thrive in a state of anarchy, which is a delightful idea in theory, but such a bloody difficult one in practice, new rules will have to be drafted and, if necessary, enforced. I mean, in other words, in order to maintain the new order, a certain amount of coercion is going to be required. So how can you be so sure you haven't torn down one form of tyranny only to replace it with another?
You can't be sure. You can't be sure of anything. Will the sun rise tomorrow? In all probability it will, but it may not. You have to be absolutely sure of something before you can approve of it. Or, more precisely, commit to it. You see, I don't believe that you do. It's my belief that you have to dedicate yourself to the idea, to the hope that society can be changed for the better. Doesn't do to look too far into the future.
Well, I'm afraid I just don't see it quite like you do. I
Well,
see it as a struggle. If you hear me out, then I see it as a struggle. Just listen to me, will you? I see it as a struggle, an everlasting struggle between two contradictions. I have the good grace to hear you out, Mr. Paine. Surely you can do the same for me. A struggle between the state and those who would destroy the state, which neither side can ever really win. All right, look at it this way. Imagine a desert, a red sun in a slate grey sky, two figures locked in combat, their feet kicking up clouds of dust. One of the figures is old. He has a long white beard, and tearing at his throat is a boy. Sparks flying from his flaming red hair. Sometimes a man has the upper hand, sometimes the boy. But neither can ever triumph over the other.